Hey musical architects! Did you know that you can create your own custom textures by resampling the sounds you already have in your song, in your arrangement? Not only does it tie your arrangement together, but it makes your productions unique because nobody else has those sounds. Let me show you how you can do that. Here's an arrangement technique I use all the time to create a sort of glue between the instruments. And you can do it with instruments or with vocals. I'm going to use it here to create a vocal texture. What do I mean by that? This sound. Where is this coming from? It's sort of a ghostly sound here. I'm going to use this example here because we just released this track. My long-term collaborator VAYY wrote this track and I added some arrangement to it and a few instruments. And I felt the vocal needs to be personal, yet it also needed to have a lot of space. And to tie it together even more so, I wanted to create this kind of vocal textures I'm talking about. So here is the vocal, and plain it sounds. Did you go? I wanted to make this more spacious, so I added reverb via bass here. Where did you go? That's one of my favorites here, Valhalla, and about 2-second reverb, just to give it a room sort of texture. But then I wanted to create a bit more a spacious feeling because the song's talking about stars and outer space in some way. I wanted to create this dimension, this third dimension. So I have 2 more buses here. One being an echo or tape delay with a tremolo effect. Where did you go? And what you notice is I'm panning it on the one side. So it pulls the sound in one direction. And on the opposite side, I have another bus that goes to a long, glossy sort of reverb, a little different. Where did you go? You can find some really cool texture reverbs. This will be called Rewash, and it's a warped space. This has some really good textural reverbs that are not typical reverbs, but what we call impulse responses that sound a bit different than traditional reverbs. So large space, warped spaces, you find a bunch of stuff like that. So these together already widen the lead sound. Where did you go? And you can make this very delicate, just a little bit, or you can feature it depending on the song, of course. I'm going to bring this down again. But I wanted more. So I wanted to have something that acts almost like a pedal note, the glue I was talking about. And what I did is I cut out one word that seems a good note. Go is the root note. So I cut this out. You can do this with a marquee tool. Copy this down to a new track. Make a new track. And on this track, just that word, I run through a chain of effects and especially a long, long reverb. So 15 seconds creates this long tail. And once you have the note that you like, then you simply bounce this in place. Control B or Control click it and click bounce in place will allow you to create the stem. You're going to include the tail, and you can say we're going to call this vocal texture 1. And now you have a file with just that effect. And that you can use like that, but you can do all kinds of things with that. Number 1, I could reverse it. If you go to regions and you go to more, you can create some really nice swells like that. As a build-up, great. We're going to undo this. You can also cut out a certain portion of that. So I could find a place I like. Let's say we're going to pick something in the middle here. I'm going to cut out a little portion. Command / would eliminate the left and the right, or use the marquee tool. And now if I go L and loop it, it's going to become a texture. So let's say we're going to do 8 bars of that. You hear the click in between. This is another nice transition. So I'm going to go, instead of L, which is loop, I'm going to go Control L. Now they become real regions. And real regions I can fade. Since they're all selected, if not, just re-click on the track. and then hold down Control and Shift and go over the borderline, and you will have fades. And that way you can create a more smooth texture sound if you want, unless you like the click part for whatever reason. And I'm going to fade out the last. And now I could glue this together, join them together. And it gives me a whole new region just based on that. What I can do with that, I can really fade this in, and you will see how this will glue.
Somewhere only the stars know. Somewhere only the stars.
So that leads itself nicely to fit beneath the lead vocal, like a pedal note. But to make it more interesting and evolving, we could go one step further. We could automate this and change the frequencies or filter it a bit more. Actually, I've done this over here, so let me just use this one. Take something like a high cut or a low cut.
You fly up high.
Let's try this for a second. I'm going to click A for automation. You go into latch mode and then move that parameter. I don't recommend using this because this is 3 parameters altogether and you're going to automate 3. So I'm just going to grab the frequency, which makes it a bit more clean. So what I do, I hit just simply play, but I'm in latch mode and then move the parameter.
Starseed.
Once I got the gist of it, even out a few things here. So this is kind of where it felt right. Sometimes I'm just going to go in there and fix it.
Starseed.
So you can listen to it and adjust it and go back to read mode so you don't keep recording automation here. Let's put this in context with the instrument. So see if this actually helps. So this is a small texture sound, but if I turn it off, you will see that there's this cohesive element missing. So here. A very nice way to do work from within the project and creating new sounds. Especially also with these swells in the beginning. I like.
Where did you go?
Or build-ups with swells with reversed.
With me. You fly.
That works really nicely too. I hope this made sense. Here's a recap. Pick a sound, cut out a piece, and sample it through some big reverbs or delays. Bounce it, and then cut out the best parts of that bounce, and place it inside your song to create some textural effects. If that's not enough, use automation to change the frequencies, the volume, and other things of that texture. And you're going to have some very unique backgrounds. They don't have to be loud, but they will help make your arrangement unique. I hope this inspired you and you're going to make your own custom sounds. And in any case, thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time. No matter what, stay unapologetically creative.